ourselves is, how do we handle our everyday life? Just commonplace, paying bills, cleaning the house, looking after the dog or the cat, your relationship, time, money, obviously money, resources. How do you handle it? What energies involved determine how you manage all of these affairs. While you might have a good planning ability and executing ability, your attitude is important. And your attitude is your personal energy body at the emotional level. How is this affecting your affairs? Do you have enough stability in you? In you. I don't mean through symbols of stability, like money, house, property, outside protection. I mean stability in you as a person. To handle these affairs, what happens when you have to do it alone? How does your energy respond to your mind placed upon your preoccupations, your mental and emotional needs, worries? What is involved in handling your everyday affairs? This is all basic center. This is all your personal energy body at the physical level. All of these affairs have to do with that physical aura, that field of energy that you manage through the stability or not of the basic center. How secure do you feel in yourself to manifest a result or a solution? This all has to do with your body, not just the base center, the whole body. What is your image? Your body image that has emerged. Does it emerge from the inside sense feeling of yourself? Is it dependent on outside decoration, let's say, or approval? How do you handle force? Now, we make a distinction in our work between energy and force. Force has to do with the handling of material matters. You use force, or physical energy. We use the words almost interchangeably at times, but the real word is force. Your relationships, how do you manage them? And all of this is comprised within the question I just asked a few moments ago. How do you manage time? Do you fit things into slots? This is all vertical thinking. This is all management of the personal energy body at the physical level. Is time divided for you in clock times and periods of times and schedules? Which is fine, it's necessary. But do you include your friends and the time that you give your husband or children in this clock time? How does your mind work there? How does it combine with your feelings? I mean, your emotions. And how do you resolve that conflict? Because we all have that conflict between those we love and what we love, and that which needs to be done. It's things that need to be done in the everyday world. How do you solve that conflict? Is it a conflict for you? And how do you fit your inner life into all this? Now, after we finish the workshops and the trainings, people always say, how? And I don't have time. How to do this? And I don't have time. Because they keep insisting on fitting attitudes, perspectives inside of yourself, the way you see life in with their time schedules. What we are training you to do is to be able to keep your schedules, manage time, create your different arrangements, organize them, create order in your life, and yet do all of this from a very holistic perspective. This is what you're trained for. Because otherwise, the little things, your everyday life becomes a chore. Remember how difficult it was for you dealing with your work situation. It presented a huge conflict, almost a year. How to do with this? Do I want this? Do I not want this? How to deal with my superiors? And this is something that everybody deals with. And it interferes with your spiritual quest. Does it have to interfere? We're always faced with difficult situations that have to do with dealing with the world. And we're not in the times of removing ourselves to the top of the Himalayas and just retreating from the world. Or even going into an ashram. Believe me, I tried. For over 10 years, a decade, 12 years. You don't solve anything. You have to come back and manage everything that pertains to you and your identity in this world. Because we're dealing and we're here in this world for a very good reason. We chose to be here. So this is not against spiritual life. It is the proof that you have a stance inside yourself, in your inner identity, that you can solve and manage those problems. And here we're talking now of the personal energy bodies. The management of personal energy bodies, which is the physical, the emotional field, and the mental. So ask these questions. Reflect on it, meditate on it, so that it doesn't become another problem, simply a situation. In your management of currents of life, which is what you're here to do. Embodiment, the spiritual path, is all about that. Let's set the record straight. The spiritual path is not an escapist route from reality. It is a means through which reality with a small r combines with reality with a large R. Where you integrate, where you become whole. A word I love to use is cohesive. I have in my Instagram description, cohesive spirituality. Coherent, not cohesive, coherent. Coherence. This is what we're looking for. And this is achieved by your study, application, development, and management of very physical energies through your body and emotional energies in your most insipid little connection with life, with a flower, with your animals, with your children, with your spouses. What is the flavor of them? Can you manage them? Instead of living oh, let's see what happens today. Instead of life attacking or doing things to you, you meet it. You go to meet life. You play with it. All situations become a kind of challenge or an invitation to dance. How are you going to dance with your bills? Really? If you're complaining up here, and I don't have money, and the mentality of lack, oh my God, that is the worst. The mentality of fear and lack. And this is what's dominating our society today. If you're afraid that you're not going to meet the expenses, you probably will not. And it isn't a question of overconfidence. I've seen many people practicing this overconfidently. Oh yes, well, I am prosperity. I'm doing an affirmation. I am abundance. Without taking care of the physical details of themselves and their body. You can't make a blanket affirmation like that. It's not an affirmation. It's an illusory thought. If you're going to affirm I am prosperity, you need to know and feel that every cell of your body is with you. It's almost like a dance. This is a mentality of prosperity. Of course you don't have millions of dollars. But maybe, who knows? So it brings a whole spirit of joy and anticipation. This is the kind of relationship you should have with your body. Remember I spoke yesterday about the multiplicity, the multiverse universe inside of your body, of particles of light, of life within the cells. It's gigantic, it's cosmic inside. It's beautiful. It's a symphony. They're singing and they're waiting for you. But here you come with a cold water bucket. Oh, I'm worried and this and that, because reality, because the market is not so good, because the cost of life, cost of living is very high. That has nothing to do. That is not reality. What people out there call reality is a whole bunch of joined fears determining how things are going to go if they manage them horizontally. If you begin to live from inside yourself, you know what manifestation is about. You manifest what you can. Don't get your hopes now on counting for those millions of dollars. Just be satisfied with the energy that you produce, waiting for them. Waiting. There's a difference between waiting and expecting it. There's a difference between expectation and expectancy. There's slight differences. So the question is, how do you manage your everyday life? What energies do you use? And how can you improve the knowledge of those energies that you employ and your management of them?